And just like that, they are finally back. The 1975, after tons and tons of teasing, have finally put out the lead single from their new album, Give Yourself a Try. Let's do this! What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It is time for a review and my thoughts and reaction to the new 1975 track, Give Yourself a Try. The new album will in fact not be titled Music for Cars like it was originally thought, because in the BBC little interview that they did with Annie Mac, Matthew Healy, the lead singer of this band, revealed that he changes his mind quite often. And they initially thought this was just going to be a trilogy of albums, like the self-titled, Then I Like It When You Sleep, and then Music for Cars rounding it out. But no, they dropped the bomb on us that they're not going to be changing back to Drive Like I Do after that, their old moniker that they went by. Instead, they will continue releasing music, and we are getting not just one album, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting two brand new releases from the 1975, so keep your seatbelts fastened because it's going to be a great ride. A bumpy one perhaps, but a great one, and I'm so excited to talk to you about Give Yourself a Try. So unless you've been living under a rock, or maybe under that bunk bed that I'm filming in front of, then you probably know that the 1975 have been cryptically teasing their new material for a while now. And Music for Cars was at the heart of it all. We know, dating back to last year, that Matt Healy and the band account have been tweeting about 1st June the 1975. And that's a very important date to this band because Matthew Healy found that book at a yard sale. It was a novel and there were a lot of weird scribblings and things in the back, and it said 1st June the 1975, and that's how they've been teasing this new material. So they continued building up the hype, and it did get to me after a while, so I eventually just muted them on Twitter, obviously unmuted now because I wanted to be in the loop about the premiere, and now this new track is finally out in the world. And I have to say, even though I think this is going to be a divisive track, I really personally enjoy it. I like the shrill guitars that are very loud, and the band produced this themselves, not just Matty Healy. He said that he did have a hand in it, but it was mainly their guitarist Adam, and I love what he brings to the table. There's large amounts of bass that really shapes up this track, and I love what Ross McDonald did there. And I think even the drumming on it, while not anything too over the top or crazy, or maybe not even anything that we haven't seen from them before, it's still really solid. And I think that the bass and just the guitar, it can stick with you after a while. I already have it stuck in my head. You just want to move in like an odd way, a groovy tune, but also a loud one. In a way, it reminds me a little bit of Sex, because on BBC they were playing some of the band's older hits, and just the fact that Sex is loud, and this isn't so much the chugging guitar and then this is how it starts. This is more of a just loop that's built from a guitar, and it's kind of loud, it's in your face, and I think some people will find it obnoxious, but I often like it when songs are able to pull off simplicity and repetition and make it work to their advantage. And then once we get to the bridge of this track, things take a little bit of a different turn, it cools off a bit and we get more focus on the bass, and I think that that sounds fantastic. Let Ross shine, let him do his thing, and I just like how Matty sounds on this track vocally as well. I think it's kind of sarcastic, and we'll talk more about the lyrics in just a second, but on this track in general, he just sounds a little bit whimsical, almost like he's a little bit mad or annoyed about something, and that's kind of cool. I will say that I definitely don't think it's his best vocal performance. That is one thing that maybe lacks a little bit. Maybe he's a little bit too quiet in the mix up against this loud, shrieking guitar at some moments, but overall, he definitely does a fantastic job once again. And diving into the lyrical content here, we've been seeing that title flashed up on social media about a brief inquiry into online relationships. That's now the title of that first album that we're going to be getting from the 1975 this fall, and now we have the lead single from it, Give Yourself a Try. And how does this tie into technology and everything? Well, it starts to talk about the toll that social media takes on us and on young people, and here I feel like Healy is kind of handing off some advice. He's talking about others who have even resorted to taking their own life, like a fan of theirs named Jane. And he talks about maybe like what's going to happen to these young kids that are at this point now, because Matt Healy is 29. He even references that on the beginning part of this track. And he just really starts to kind of go off on some tangents, and I like it. It feels a little bit rambly, but he's able to tie it all together and make it all work. I also like how it kind of lands on our obsessions and things that we do online instead of just maybe going outside or interacting with people, or I don't know, really just anything else, but we're obsessed with buying fucking seeds and plants online. And what I think that maybe that line's getting at, I could be totally off the mark here, but it seems like we're putting our money and our time and we're investing ourselves into something like a beanstalk or the magic beans from the old fairy tales instead of actually going out and doing something that matters. It's not to say that you can't do anything online that's great, and obviously this band seemed to be in check and know that they are a modern band and use a lot of technology and everything like that, but at the same time, they're offering a little bit of advice and also perhaps a little bit of a warning, like let's not take it too far because we see how bad things can get online at times. And there's one line in particular that I really want to shout out. The first part of the line says, "I found a gray hair in one of my zoots, like context in a modern debate, I took it out." That right there is just a mic drop, like context in a modern debate, because people don't pay attention to context, and I think it's so important to focus on that because, especially with politics these days, it's just a shouting match online. Even with music fans, back and forth, nobody can agree on anything, and at times the context is lost because you're focused so much on wanting to push your persuasion or the way that you lean, whether it be left, right, you're a fan, you're not a fan, whatever the case might be, people push their own agenda so hard that they leave out context and they take things out of context intentionally to try and bring people down. It's a very interesting line, one of my favorites here, and then we also get some other stingers on the little bridge that builds up here. And he's starting to talk to his younger self, if he could at this point, and he's like, growing a beard's quite hard, whiskey will never start to taste nice, and you'll make a lot of money, and it's funny because you'll move somewhere sunny and get addicted to drugs. I don't know why, but that one just, it's kind of a little bit sarcastic, maybe perhaps a little bit snobby, and also maybe him reflecting on his own life choices. So I just found this to be really good overall, and I think the lyrics are one of the most captivating parts about this song. Despite its repetition, it's already stuck in my head. I don't mind it. Maybe down the road I could see the guitar getting a little bit annoying with the way that it just constantly cycles and the fact that it is loud in the mix, but I am still confident in their music, and I'm happy to say that after this long wait and after the long teasing sessions that they've been giving us, I am pleased with this song. Overall, for me, I'm gonna rate Give Yourself a Try a 4. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. A link to stream it in the description or else in a pinned comment if you haven't heard it already. Highly recommend you check it out. Music for Cars is the name of this new era. They're not totally abandoning that. Even though it was already the name of an EP, they haven't abandoned that totally. So look out for the Music for Cars era because it has begun. A brief inquiry into online relationships will be out soon, and here's the lead single, Give Yourself a Try, linked below. Thanks so much for tuning into my review of the new 1975 song. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Tastefully, respectfully, agree or disagree, let me know why. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Another 1975 themed video right here, or another recent review right over here. All of my socials in the description, and I'll see you soon on Beyond ARTV.